Welcome back to another video, guys, on the Jeep. We are making some heavy progress. Last we left off, I believe I had mentioned something about the sump, and we had already put the return fuel line in. If you missed my last video, then you haven't seen it yet, but we got the return line in for the fuel, and we got the power steering high pressure line all hooked up. I'm gonna go ahead, pop this sump on, secure this down, put some tape on there to seal it. I did put the plug in, so that's ready to be installed. Another thing, look at this. I mocked up the fender. I have it screwed roughly in. Pop the grill up here so you could see. I just have some loose screws just holding it all together. But this is the main thing I wanted to watch for and see. And I think it's gonna work right where it's at. I'm gonna run the intercooler piping probably around front here somewhere. You know, it might run like up here right around and then jet straight over from here to right there. I don't know, or I may circle it around, come over here. I don't know yet, but that is pretty much how it's all gonna sit. So my plan is to notch this out and put the radiator as far forward as possible so it'll be tucked up in this grill. So you'll see that, and that should give me, then I'll have the fan shroud for the electric fans on top of that, but that should give me room to run it, I think, somewhere right around here, or if I can get away with a smaller intercooler somewhere, I may be able to stick a small intercooler somewhere or use this. So I know I mentioned in another video this thing. This is an air to water intercooler. I could put it right here, you know, somewhere like this, or I could pop it over here or down in the front somewhere. You know, tucked up under here. There's options. There's a lot of options, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, because at this point, I don't know yet on how it's all gonna work out. So this was just kind of mocked up. I'll probably take this back off. I just wanted to make sure where I have this will indeed work, and it should work perfectly. The hood follows this line, so we clear completely on all sides, so that's good. But man, does that look good. Next step, the radiator I'm looking at is for a, I believe it's a Impala. It's made for a V8 system, and it's a 4-core radiator. So it should keep it plenty cool. I've seen a lot of people use them, and it's got a inlet down at the bottom, which is perfect for this inlet. It's got one down at the bottom at this side, and then it's got one at the top at this side, which will be perfect for this top radiator hose. So that's one reason. Remember too, right here, I will have a alternator that goes right here. And then down below, I'm deleting the AC, so there will not be an AC compressor on here. And that is going to be, they sell a serpentine belt that is AC delete. And that's what I'm gonna go ahead and get, because it's like $40 for the AC delete, which is just a pulley. For right now, I can always add it, but the belt was $5 on Rock Auto. So for the AC delete, I did just get the sump in right here. That's all in. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to remove the diff cover, reseal it, because I had already emptied the fluid out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead, take it off, reseal it. Rear diff, all cleaned up. I find that scraping off the RVT, this one doesn't have a gasket, it was just RVT, and then using a wire brush to get all the fine stuff off. Then I spray it with brake cleaner. That's how I do it. This is stuff that I had left over, the right stuff from the when I put the build together, all the gaskets for like the oil pan and stuff. I bought 2 cans and I used one on the whole thing up until this point. I'm just about to open up my second can. So it is pricey, but it actually goes a very long way. So I'm gonna put it on here. And I already prepped the surface on the axle, so that will go right in as well. And then we can pop this on, and then I can look up what kind of gear oil it uses. I have some gear oil down here left over from a job I did, so we'll see if they match up, and I can pop that in and get that all filled back up. So if I was worried about like if it was on my F350 and I was doing this, I would be a little more worried about, you know, getting it on neatly and putting in just enough where it doesn't squirt out everywhere underneath. But I really don't care at this point, so it's just on there. Put it on and then smooth it out with your finger. That's what I do at least, and then we'll stick this on and should be good to go. So when I talk about gussets, this is what I was talking about right there. These triangular pieces, just kind of gusseting, giving the motor mount stability side to side. So those are welded in nicely, and then I will box these in eventually over top. So that's kind of that. I need to get some black spray paint and just spray paint these welds, keep it from rusting. I ended up just welding up the downpipe. So I've got that into place. I had to patch a hole right here, but everything is in solid right where I want it. And then I think we're gonna go right through this little gap here. And I think we're gonna run it back and dump it out back here. I've thought of many different options. Like I've seen some come out of the fender well here. I've seen some exit out here. And I've seen some, obviously, the hood stack. But I'm gonna be driving this Jeep a lot with the top off, and I don't want to, you know, my wife and my daughter to worry about getting a face full of black smoke and the fumes and stuff. So I'm gonna run everything to the back. Alright guys, I just want to jump in real quick, explain a couple things. First of all, I'm sorry, I didn't realize my mic, the fuzzy part, had been hanging down in the last 2 videos, so apologize for that. So I just fixed that now. But I'm also on dad duty, so I am keeping an eye out so while she sleeps. So but I did want to mention a couple things. First of all, I can't remember if I showed you guys this, but the downpipe is indeed made. I think I did. But I did something this morning. I'm not really working right now. I'm about to head out to town. So I just want to cover this real quick in regards to the power steering pump and vacuum pump. My Jeep does not have hydro boost for the brakes, so we're gonna delete that system altogether, not go into that. But this off of the vacuum pump will go to your brake booster. You will run this, it's a vacuum line, I believe, and that is for the brakes. Down here you've got your high pressure power steering line that's running to your gearbox right here, and then you've got this return line which is not high pressure, it's just return, and that runs to the farthest or the closest fitting right here. And then you've got this other fitting right here. I don't know if you can see that, but this fitting right here, you're gonna cap it off, and you are not going to use that with your particular setup. If you're doing to a YJ Jeep specifically, you are not gonna need to hook that up. So literally you just use the 3 lines. You're going to use your vacuum line to the brake booster, and then your high pressure line right here. Remember on this one, the Jeep factory high pressure line will bolt directly up to the Cummins power steering pump, so that saves you right there. If you're doing the swap and you have the engine, make sure you hang on to that high power steering pump line, because you'll use that, and then you can just use some fuel hose or whatever to come back to that right there. So that's how that is set up. Super easy. And so the power steering is all set up, it just needs to be aired out. Also so here are the heater core lines. I eventually, before winter, I am going to hook them up. However, well, my goal is to hook them up before winter. But right now on the initial test drives and getting the Jeep running good and, you know, running down the road, I am not hooking it up. So first of all, I don't like how close it's to the exhaust. Not that it matters, but it is pretty close. So I think I'm gonna have my buddies who have some like HVAC experience. This is copper, so maybe they can solder on some like 90-degree turns and get them away from the manifold. Even though I am gonna wrap this in heat wrap, I don't want to, you know, I just want it a little farther away. So if they can solder 90 degrees on here and then get them a little farther, that would be great. just got back from my cousin's house. We powder coated the valve cover, so that is super excited. I've got it all wrapped up. I'm gonna install it tonight real quick. Got that taken care of. Also, he had this 90-degree that he wasn't using. So for example, can make my 90-degree exhaust. Powder coated the tow hooks that go right here. So these are Jamaican teal. Also, I used to have a motorcycle, and I wrapped the fairings in this white, it's like a pearl white. So I had some time the other night. I went ahead and wrapped the inserts because they were chrome, and just to see if I would like this color for a wrap on the Jeep, and how well it played with Jamaican teal. So I don't know. Guys in the comments, comment below if you think white would be the move to go for this Jeep, either wrap or paint. But yeah, that's kind of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this valve cover on, and we will go from there. I think this is gonna wrap up this video, but I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like with the valve cover on like it should be. Got the gasket on there as well. And then if we come to the front here, you'll notice the tow hooks are done too. I was able to sandblast those and powder them. Came out pretty decent, so pretty stoked on that. It doesn't really, if you really look at it, it doesn't really match with the green. The Jamaican teal doesn't really do it. So if we bring this up here with the white, obviously on my 7.3 I've done the white Jamaican teal. That could work, but I'm thinking more of a white instead of a cream white. But all that aside, it does look pretty decent. So for now, that's gonna work until I get the Jeep painted or wrapped. And this is the color that is going to be the hinges as well. So once I do paint the Jeep, I'm gonna get these hinges. I'm gonna powder coat all the hinges. And like I told you guys before, the roll cage is getting powdered in this Jamaican teal as well. So it's got a long way to come before, you know, it's done. But as far as the engine swap goes, we're almost there. I ordered a lot of parts, but you'll have to wait to see those in the next video. And also, today is Sunday, but next weekend, I've got a passel of my friends coming over. I'm gonna try to video as much as possible, but we are going to be slamming out some of the electrical on this Jeep, and we should get a ton done, as well as I've got a big brush pile that we're going to have a big bonfire in the evening, cook up some ribeyes, and just have a good chill. So that is all probably in the next video, or possibly two, I don't know. But this is big progress. Finally got the valve cover on. When my cousin comes this weekend, I'm gonna have him do the valves, adjust those, since he's done them quite a few times. So we'll get those all done, and we'll be dialed in. I'm out.